What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we've got a Total War Warhammer 2 Mortal Empires 1 versus 1 quick battle for you, where I am leading the High Elves and I am facing off against the Empire. And my opponent is Uncle Bad Touch, which I thought was a pretty funny name. And I just want to show you guys this one. So if you look here, we've got 4 groups of archers up front. We do have a couple of groups of white lions, which have just one chevron there with those guys. We've also got a light mage over here on the left, which has the net of Ammontok as well as banishment. Got our prince up here, which is just his main goal there is just to bring the Star Dragon in, which has Star Dragon's Breath. We've got the Blade of Belcoradris, which has melee attack and armor piercing damage, so we can do some pretty heavy work with this guy with Foe Seeker. So if you kind of net things down, you can do some major work. Besides that, we do have just a noble over here on a horse, as well as a group of Phoenix Guard, a group of Swordsmaster, and one group here in the middle, just a little group of Spearmen with a couple of chevrons in them. So a pretty small elite army. If you look here, 740 units only, but my opponent actually only has 687, which is pretty surprising for an Empire unit. So if you look here in the forest, he does have 2 groups of Outriders. He's also got a group of Demogryph Knights and a group of Royal Outdoor Fights. So that's where a lot of his money went, to these elite Griffin infantry. So those cavalry will do some major damage if they can catch me. Besides that, you see he's got Karl Franz, and he's also got him up here on I think that's Bequist. So I think he's I think that's the name of the flying mount. He's gonna cause terror. He does some major work when he's up there. 450 weapon strength, and that guy, look at him, he is ready for some action. There in the back, he's got the silver bullets. He's also got Sigmar's Sons, Tattersouls, some Greatswords with 2 or 1 chevron in them. So there's a little bit of upgrades on those Greatswords, and that's about it. So if you see here, it's really going to be up to these Outriders and the silver bullets to do all of the range damage. But overall, he's going to have a hard time, I think, dealing with this Star Dragon. I have all 4 of those archers as well, which I think is going to be a little bit of a challenge for him without any real range threat besides those Outriders. So if you look here, I mean, sometimes I'll get the Lothar and Seaguard 2 groups and 2 groups of archers. But I've went with just the cheapest possible ranged variant, but I mean, this is 1,800 gold here, so it is a pretty big investment, and they will actually lay some pretty heavy fire. Look at that, the net of Ammontok is going to come down here, and you see we're just point blank Star Dragon Breath right into him. So we've also got Foe Seeker activated, and while we don't have oh man, look at that, he can't even move. So Karl Franz is actually starting to take some big old hits. Look at that. He is in just a nasty battle there with the prince here. And one-on-one, Karl Franz is going to have a really hard time. Now we've got that Blade of Belcoradris. I figured I would activate it once the net wears off, and we're just doing massive work. Here in the front, you'll see those Royal Outdoor Fights and the Demogryph Knights. They tried to get in front here, but we were able to charge those Phoenix Guard and the White Lions right through. I mean, they did get some good kills, but they took some heavy damage in the process. Here on the sides, well, you see that these Outriders are kind of just firing into the flanks of my archers. I think it would be better if he charged them in. Those archers are just so weak. Oh man, look at that nasty Star Dragon Breath. So we've actually shattered Karl Franz. You see there in the back, he's flying off, and we're gonna use the prince to kind of just charge right into this group of silver bullets. Here in the back, you'll see the Outriders are still firing away, and they're actually starting to rack up some good HP damage. Although, like I said, oh, there it goes. So he's gonna charge them in there, and you see they're just gonna send those archers flying. I think if he had done that a little earlier, if he had been cyclocharging, that would have helped. These White Lions are facing off against these Greatswords, and the Greatswords are actually going to cut them to pieces. These White Lions are steady, and it says combat's even, but over time the Greatswords are going to just cut them down. Here in the back, though, you'll see it's important that we've actually caught those Outriders and the Royal Outdoor Fights. We've caught the Demogryph Knights, and that's why this net of Ammontok is such a useful skill. You see we've got the Noble in here. He's got Foe Seeker. The Phoenix Guard are going to surround these Outdoor Fights. If we look in here, let's go ahead and slow it down. Oh man, that is just nasty. Those Phoenix Guard are just, I mean, those are the worst thing in the world for these outdoor fights. You see here, there's 18 models remaining, but each swing that these nobles and these Phoenix Guard get is going to really do some damage. If you look in the back here, the silver bullets have been kind of chased off. The prince is finished with Karl Franz. He's finished with those silver bullets, and I think I've got one more Star Dragon's Breath to use. But here in the back, the Swordsmasters of Host are going to get into those Greatswords right as they finish off those White Lions. So the Outriders are kind of off, routed off the field a little bit. Those Royal Outdorf Griffites still have a good amount of health left. And over here in the back, the Demogryph Knights have been routed off too, and I'm just using these archers to kind of fire into them, just to try to do as much HP damage as I can before he's able to bring them back onto the field. Here in the back, you'll see those Outdorf Griffites charge in, and they'll get some major work done against any of these archers. I mean, they're still just a huge danger. These Tattersouls, they're going to continue fighting, but my Phoenix Guard, my Noble, those guys are full health. So even with these Outriders and everyone charging in, he's really going to have a hard time. Here in the back, you'll see my Swordmasters of Oath. They're kind of fighting in a line. My White Lions are returned, so they should be kind of getting back in here. But even though they're surrounded, these Swordmasters are super strong. Oh, man. But and it looks like the Greatswords have been routed off. I mean, army losses are really starting to take effect on all these guys. If you look here, each of these units of Outriders are down. The Outdorf Griffites are low. Pretty much the only units remaining were a couple units of Greatswords here, and just one or two Tattersouls remaining. But it was just a nasty, quick, short battle. I mean, it was those Sigmar Sons. I think those guys were taking dragon breath there. And look, see, I mean, look at those dead bodies. That's a good number of Sigmar Sun. So you see the White Lions. Oh, we got a Noble charging in here, and I mean, this is just wrapping up the final remaining guys. I mean, the Sigmar Suns never yield, so we'll get some good shots of this Light Mage in here, swinging her sword. We'll get the White Lions charging in here. We're gonna start decapitating these Sigmar Suns. We're gonna get just sandwiched, one from each side. We'll get the Swordmasters coming in here, and you'll see just the Sigmar Suns making their final stand there. And I mean, if you saw there though, that was just such a hard battle. We'll take a look at the post-game wrap-up, and you'll see here, look, these Swordmasters, 150 kills. I mean, there's not a lot of units here to kill. The Swordmasters were just cutting things to pieces. It was very difficult for Uncle Bad Touch there. Karl Franz, you see, up against that prince. I mean, with the net of Amatok holding him still, that Dragon Breath was able just to smash right into Karl. We were able to do some major damage with that Star Dragon. And then once we popped those abilities, you saw that just kind of finished off Karl. Even though these archers, you see they still had plenty of health. They didn't have a really great place to be, but they were able to kind of get some shots off. They soaked a lot of damage, and they allowed these Phoenix Guard really to just catch units and chop them down. The Phoenix Guard, 51 kills. The Sword Masters 146, and a lot of those kills I think were on these Outdorf Griffites and some of these big bad Outriders and some of those nasty units. White Lions, some of them got chopped down. You saw those Greatswords really did a good job of chopping up some of those White Lions. But the Noble, 14 kills. I mean, that Prince, 90 kills. That Dragon Breath, it really can't be underestimated. You saw on the Dragon, we jumped into the back end of the Silver Bullets. They didn't even get a single kill. And besides that, Dragon's Breaths were able to be landed on Sigmar Sons, as well as a group of Greatswords, and just do major damage. For my opponent's army, you saw, I mean, Karl Franz, that's such an expensive, unit. Just to only bring one. I think if you're bringing a flying lord like that against the High Elves, you really need to bring an extra captain or something, just in case, just to give the leadership. I mean, there was such a big leadership hit there. Even though he did have a lot of units still on the field, he still had 225 units. I mean, that's not great, but I think if he had had extra leadership, it maybe would have helped a little bit. But this is just, it was a lot of regiments for renown. The Silver Bullets weren't able to get their place. We should have had them shooting at that Prince right off the bat in that duel with Karl Franz. Those Silver Bullets and those Outriders really could have made the difference. If they were all shooting up at my Prince, I think that Star Dragon went down pretty quickly. Overall, though, it was a great game to my opponent, Uncle Bad Touch. I hope you guys all enjoyed this battle. Happy holidays to everybody. It's been a while since I've been on, so I'm trying to get as many of these videos this next week as I can. I hope you guys enjoy all the fun battles I got to play over the break. And take it easy, guys. There's more fun times coming ahead. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's battles.